So far, we've had a look at HTML, CSS, and JavaScript separately. And in the past couple of videos, we had a look at some demonstrations of how JavaScript can be included into the HTML document. So now let's look at some theoretical aspects involved in how we're able to do that. So before we get into fully immersing ourselves into using JavaScript and HTML, we have to understand what HTML DOM is. HTML DOM, D-O-M, stands for Document Object Model. So whenever we open a HTML document in a browser, the browser automatically creates what is known as a document object model. And this DOM is basically an object that contains HTML elements in a hierarchical fashion. So let's understand what that means. So here in this diagram, you can see that there is a document. So this is what the DOM is. The DOM is basically an object called document. And inside of this, we have all of the elements constructed in a hierarchical fashion. So the hierarchy is basically in reference to one element being the parent element and all of the other ones being the child elements. So if you remember, the basic structure of a HTML document is that it starts with an opening HTML tag and everything is within that HTML opening and closing tag. So we have the head element and the body element, and all of our page contents are in the body element. So in this example, we are looking at a HTML document that has a head and a body, and the head has a title element and the title says my text, and the body has an A tag and a H1 tag, and the A tag has an attribute called href, and between the opening and closing A tags we have the text my link, and the H1 tag contains my header. So this is the document object model of a sample HTML document. Now this is just used to illustrate what a document object model looks like. I will show you a demonstration of how to look at the DOM. But before we do that, let's have a look at how the DOM is helpful. So the DOM is basically an interface for JavaScript to affect the HTML aspects of the page. Using the DOM, the JavaScript code can obtain and change the HTML elements, the HTML attributes and CSS styles. Okay, we'll also see examples of this. So the DOM is just a way for us to dynamically update a HTML page without actually changing the HTML code. This will make a lot more sense when I show you the demonstration of it. And we have some methods here that we'll be using in the demo. So let's get to it. I'm going to open an application called VS Code. So far we've been using Notepad to write our code, but VS Code is actually a better application for us to use for this. So VS Code is what is known as an IDE. It's an integrated developer environment. I'll provide a link in the description below for you to download this. This will be a better option for you to write code in when you're dealing with multiple files. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder called DOM. And inside of this, I'm going to create a new file called index.html. So this index.html doesn't contain any code right now. But let's open this in a browser to see what it contains. I'm going to open this. So you can see here that it has nothing. Let's look at the console. This is the document object model. Now let's actually go back to the file and write some code here. I'm going to just create a simple HTML document. And as you can see in VS Code, it actually formats your code as you type it, and also it highlights the different aspects. So this is the tag name, and it automatically made it a blue color so that it's easy to identify things. And I'm going to include a heading here. So it just says heading. Okay, let's save this and let's go back and refresh this. So now you can see that our DOM is actually updated with the new code. Now I'm going to go to the head and I'm going to create a script tag, and I'm going to say console.log document. Okay, so like I mentioned, the DOM rests inside of a variable named document, and we'll be seeing more of this as we write JavaScript code. So the script tag is basically a way for us to include JavaScript code, and within the opening and closing script tag, I've written some JavaScript code here, which basically should output the document in the console. So let's try that. I'm going to go to the console, and here you can see the output. So basically, this document variable contains the entire document object model. And you can see that when you click on it, it points to the Elements tab, and we're able to see it here. Now let's try something else. Now let's use some of the methods that we saw in the presentation. So here we saw some methods that are referred to as DOM methods. The DOM actually comes with some methods built in. Like for example, here you see this method called getElementById. You can see that it's written in what is referred to as a camel case. So camel case basically starts with a small letter, and then every new word starts with a capital letter. So you can see that getElementById is written like this, and each of the methods are written like that. So there are methods like getElementById, and you pass in an argument, which is basically the ID of the element that you want to get. And so when you say document.getElementById and you pass in the ID that you want to get the element of, it gets the element from the document and stores it in this variable. Similarly, you can get an array of elements that have the same class name by writing it like this. So document.getElements by class name, and you pass in the name of the class, and this element will capture an array of all the elements that have that class name as an argument. And similarly, you can get the elements by tag name. So these are the ways to get a certain element from the document. And here you see ways in which you can modify the elements that you obtain like that. So let's try some of these. So here we have the document. Now I'm going to create an element called element. And here I'm going to say document.getElement by the way, you can see that VS Code also has the ability to predict what you're going to type. So it gave us the options when we were looking at things. Get elements by tag name. And I'm going to say body. So let's save this and go and refresh it. Yeah, I forgot to console log the element. So console.log element. So here you can see that element is a HTML collection. It's basically an array of items, and the body is included in there. And you can see that first element child is h1. So the body has all of these attributes. And this is basically a JavaScript object. So that means that we can use JavaScript code to manipulate this object, and whatever changes we make to the body will be reflected in the window here. Now let's change this. I want to say h1. So we are now capturing the elements with the tag name h1, and we're storing it in this element variable, and we're outputting this in the console. So let's go have a look at the output here. So here you can see that the element now has a HTML collection with 0 elements in there. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to the fact that it has 0 elements in the collection. The reason for this is, even though we have a heading with the h1 tag in the document, we are not actually running this code after the document fully loads. So remember this, whenever you open a HTML file in the browser, it will take a certain amount of time for it to fully load the document onto the window. Even though it looks like it's happening immediately for us, it actually takes some time for it to fully load the file onto the browser. So only when we execute the code in this script tag, after the window fully loads, it will be able to capture these tag names and the elements. When we do it before the page fully loads, it won't be having these in the page. So it won't be able to show us what is actually available on the page. So what we need to do to ensure that all of this code runs after the window fully loads, we need to write some extra code here. So we're going to write window.onload equals function onload, and we need to move all of these lines of code inside this function. So I'll explain what this does. So here you can see that I've written window onload. This is basically a HTML event. Whenever the browser window fully loads, we are passing in this method. This method will get executed when the browser fully loads the window, and this method is called onload. We're not partaking in any arguments. And inside the definition of this method, we are writing these lines of code. Now, when you save it and when you refresh the page, remember it's showing you 0 in the HTML collection. So now when you refresh it, it'll show us the fact that we have a element with the tag h1. So remember, this method gets all the elements that have the tag name of h1. So it returns an array of elements, and we have one element that matches that description. So this element gets outputted here as a collection. Now if you notice, it shows you a list of HTML elements. Okay, so the 0th element in this array is the h1, and when you hover over it, it actually highlights that in the browser window, that showing that this is the element that we captured in the 0th element. So what we can do is, let's try to output the particular element, 0th element of the thing. So let's save that, and so here you can see the element 1 is h1. Now let's try modifying this element dynamically without changing the HTML code. So for this, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say element 1 equals, var element 1 equals element 0, and element 1 dot inner HTML equals new heading. Okay, let's save that. And now if you refresh it, we should see the new heading here. There we go. So we just basically dynamically changed an HTML element using JavaScript without modifying the actual HTML code. So this is how you use the HTML DOM to access and modify HTML elements on a page. I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to give you a simple demonstration of how you can access the DOM and what it actually is and how we can use it. In the next video, we'll have a look at how we can use this to do various things to a HTML document. If you have any questions, please post them down below in the comment section and I'll respond to them. And if you wish to support our channel, please like and share this video, and also subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for notifications so that you get notified every time a new video is released. And you can also support us by donating. The links to donations are down below in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.